guys, welcome to Sayless Footy Podcast 2024, first episode of the year, and I'm excited. All right, this year we are changing up the format. It's not just me anymore. I brought along some mates with me. We're going to be dropping an episode every single week where we analyse the games, which teams are carving up, which teams are doing not so well, and giving our thoughts and tips for the round ahead. We're hoping to bring you some extra content throughout the year, some interviews with some former players and hopefully even some current players. So please subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you haven't already. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram. All right, boys. Brendo, Preston, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome to the potty. All right, I'm so excited to have someone to talk footy with me this year. I think this podcast is going to be awesome. Hope you boys are as pumped as I am.
Yes, sir.
Very, very pumped.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think footy's back. Footy's back this round.
It's good.
Is round 0? Is it round 1? I don't really know what it is. It's Vegas anyway. It's going to be very different to start the season on this one. But I'm calling it round 0 because it's kind of weird. It's a split round, but I think it also helps with the bye rounds later in the year. So much has happened in the off season. And of course, a
lot more's happened for you than it has for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, massive changes at the Tigers. Obviously, Benji we trust. Benji's in charge, but the board was dissolved. I think maybe one guy survived. The CEO stepped down. Shane Richardson stepped in as interim CEO. I think he'll be there for the long term.
Yep.
I think we're already seeing good changes about it. Some around the membership numbers, the truth around that, sort of players sort of coming, going. Jerome Luai being locked in for 2025.
Yeah, that's massive.
That's
gonna be
huge.
so good.
Look, I'm still not 100% sold on it. I know his work ethic, his talent is going to bring, but is he? Hopefully, 2025 he's old enough to take the reins, and obviously Appy's going to be there. It's still going to be our captain, but being able to step up and direct a team, it's going to be massive for him.
Especially with a playmaker, it's good to have a playmaker, especially one that's won finals like that. You don't have many in the NRL at the moment, so it's good to get someone like that in there, bring in some culture as well with them, just as Appy did as well. So it's nice. It's nice for the Tigers.
Yeah, the fact that Appy's re-signed as well will be huge. That extra depth in the team, but the fact that the head coach now has got full reins of the team will be absolutely massive.
Well, the whole coaching stuff now is the 2005 Tigers, essentially.
So good.
Rugby, Chris Harrington, Chrissy Lawrence is still around the team. It was good to see Gareth Ellis back there this week as well. Not an 05 man, but still was massive for the Tigers. Obviously, the trials, there was good and bad, but yeah, I think we're finally on the up. So
Yeah, it is good.
go to Tigers. Obviously, it's been a lot of heartache for me being a Tigers fan, but I think we are definitely on the way up. Obviously, Brendo, you're a Roosters fan. Preston, you're a Melbourne fan. I mean, we can't all be glory hunters, I guess.
All right, then.
There's a good chance you're not getting the spoon this year, I think.
Oh, yeah. I reckon you're out there. Oh, nah.
I think both of your teams obviously have a chance for the premiership this year.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, well, for the Storm, it's funny. I've been, seeing, videos and all that of people saying they're going to miss the top 8, and I was like, what? There's been so many years where they've been written off. Over the past, so Cam Smith, Billy, Cronk, they left, and everyone's like, oh yeah, nah, they can't be good anymore. And it's you got Munster, and then Hughes has come in, and then Pats has come in, and then Grant's come in. You know what I mean? So
Hughes has stepped up too.
I know. Oh, I love Hughes. Oh, he's my favorite. He's always when he came in as fullback, I liked him. Then he jumped in as halfback, and I was like, nah, this guy's crazy off that right foot. Oh, he's too nice. But nah, I definitely think. I think we could get it this year, honestly. You bring in Paps, you off the injury, you're bringing in Bloor as well, which is massive. I'm pretty excited for this year.
That back row, Katoa, Sean Bloor, that looks absolutely sick.
And
Pappy's back.
I think King might even play as a prop now. And they might bring in Trent Liera as a lock. So they're switching it up a bit. So we're about to find out, but we'll see. That's nice.
lost a lot of forwards over the last couple of years.
I know, but
Nelson was a one-man show last year. Welsh didn't have his best year. You just need some more big forwards.
yeah. But then you're seeing Welshie now, like he's come out and said like it was tough for him to lose that captaincy, and he's been there for a long time. But I feel like hopefully this is a year where he kind of brings it back. You know what I mean? So I will find out this year. I'm excited as I can't wait.
How about the Roosters? Just on the trials, Sammy Walker. He is looking like he's put out a few kegs. He's looking good. He looks like he's maturing into a man. And I mean, your team on paper, even last year, it looks even better this year.
Yeah. No, Sammy Walker's looking unreal. We've got a couple lucky signings with Dominic Young coming in. Yeah, it's a great pickup. We've got Sully as well, which is, I reckon that'll be absolutely huge. But the depth that we have there in the team is massive. And it's been in the whole time. Robbo, I don't think, technically we had this team on paper last year, but the team just didn't cut it last year. I don't know if we half-assed it a little bit, but I think this year is going to be a huge year for us. We seem fit. We seem large. All the boys seem fucking on it. And that first trial looked really, really good. We just need a few of our key players, Kiri, Radley, just to woo down a bit. Hopefully not get knocked out too much.
Yeah,
Stay away from those HIAs.
Very,
Like,
very
please.
true.
Yeah. Did Lenu play in the trials? I actually missed that. Like I don't think Lenu is. I think Lenu played the second trial.
I'm not sure.
Then you played first trial.
Oh, the first trial. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see a whole lot of him, but him added to the pack
Massive.
with Lindsay, Jared.
So nice. And even May, like I think May's crazy, you know what I mean? I remember he might have come into the Storm. I remember for a little bit and I was excited and then he didn't. I was like, a massive. I think he could be in for a massive year as well. Even though he's behind, say, Lenu or Collins or Jared, still, I reckon he could have a massive year as well.
It's Jared's last year, so like I think he's sort of going to go down to a 40-minute player. May's going to get huge minutes.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, that the Roosters team looks absolutely scary this year. Like swapping Kiri and Walker, absolute genius.
Yeah. Yep.
It's given the keys to the city to Walker. It's your team now. We did re-sign Kiri, but only for 1 year. I was surprised at that. I thought Sandon Smith might get moved into there, and Kiri might get moved on to somewhere like the Dragons. That's what I thought. Like I think Kiri's a great player, but I think he's for his age. I think he's played a lot of football.
Yeah.
And gone through a lot of injuries as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, your captain is one of my favourite fullbacks of all time, Teddy. I think Teddy is going to dominate this year. Like he was a little off the pace last year, still captain New South Wales. Everyone wants to get him out of New South Wales. I reckon Teddy is going to absolutely turn it on this year.
All right,
I agree.
Yeah, true. I'm excited to see that. I can't wait. You know, like you said, footy's back, so it's always a win when footy's back, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's
Well,
awesome.
we've just been speaking about some big teams, but obviously the big one is Panthers, 3 in a row. Can they do 4? Lost players again, Lenu and Stephen Crichton. That's huge. But we were saying before the podcast, they've lost Appy, they lost Kickow the year before. Like they're losing players every year, and that nursery, that Western Sydney nursery, just keeps reducing.
Good.
Yeah.
If you saw some of the World Cup challenge, Jack Cole stepped in for Luai. What a football player! He's going to be something good. Like it's a star of the future right there. And they just keep finding forwards, outside backs, like
Just there, and there's even I don't know, I forgot his name, but there's this fullback behind Edwards who's amazing as well, coming through the ranks. So I forgot his name, but if I find, I'll let you know. But yeah, he's amazing as well, apparently. So just everywhere, they just got him everywhere. Talent here, there, and everywhere.
I think that sort of that 2018 was like it was a low year for Panthers, and then after that they've just sort of there was a lot of like 2016, 17, 18 was like a building sort of time that like
They rebuilt their entire spine.
yeah like
Perfect.
Phil Gould had his fingerprints all over it and sort of and creating those pathways. What he's doing for the Bulldogs now, so it's a little bit scary to see what the Bulldogs are going to be like in a few years. It's actually funny because if you watch other podcasts and stuff and across TikTok, all the Bulldogs fan, there's a like a 10-year or 20-year thing. It's for some reason they forgot about the 88 grand final, but it's like where every 20 years they win a comp or something like that, or like Yeah, it's like 74 no,
I think I
84
saw
yes.
that. Was that the Bulldogs?
Yeah, the
thing?
Bulldogs. Yeah. So
I
it's
saw that.
apparently 2024 is the year of the Bulldog.
Oh, we're about to see, aren't we?
Yeah,
I'm not- I don't know.
these Bulldogs fans in Sydney actually put a billboard up with this. It's crazy.
Billboard.
Yeah, my phone's over there, but I literally, yeah, it's. I mean, wouldn't it be so funny if it did? Because then that means if we're doing 20 rounds, that means 2025 year of the Tiger.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big leap.
That's sure.
The big rounds. What do we think of the Warriors?
Oh well,
Up the wires, eh? Oh,
even
Warriors.
Warriors, everyone's second team last year. Like
of course.
Rugby league. This is what I was saying last year. Is rugby league is better when Sean Johnson is on. And
I love SJ.
SJ should have won the Dally M. I said in a podcast last year, I said when they rested him for the final round, I said no. Like imagine if he lost the Dally M by 1 point, and he did. So I literally predicted the future, but that's fine. But just the way everyone else plays off around him is just like, and for him to like go back after a couple of years, like a homecoming, and he feels at home,
Vintage
and he's
SJ.
like,
Oh, it's just so good seeing him use that footwork. Oh, just can't go wrong. I feel like.
Well, he's put on a couple of kilos as well. He's looking good.
Yeah.
He looks huge.
I think it's he's sort of emulating his one of his heroes, Benji Marshall, where it's sort of like you have all these fancy footwork and all these extreme plays, and then as you get older, you slow down, but then you have better pass selection, your kicking game, like your football IQ is just through the roof.
It just you change as a player, you grow as a player instead of just trying to stick to the same thing. So it's good. He's done that, so it's amazing.
They haven't really lost anyone, and they've gained a couple of big ones back, RTS and Chanel Tavita Harris.
And Capewell as well.
Oh, and they've got Capewell. Like
he looks so good. I think he scored a try. He looked good on, I think it was trial number 2.
Yeah, trial number 2. Yeah,
he looked good, man. But it's hard, you got Niokore there, you got Ford there. Like it's hard. Who are you gonna? Gonna slot in, so.
Well, they obviously moved on. Well, Josh Curran moved on to the Bulldogs, so there is that sort of spot there. Jackson Ford was huge last year.
That's what I mean. Jackson Ford and Niokore are both nice as so.
And Niokore can move out into a centre position, but the centre's just stacked at the moment. Rocco Berry, Adam Pompey.
RTS is there.
Yeah. And obviously Nico Klokstad is looking to be out for the first few rounds, but they're not going to move RTS back there. So
Tulpiki. Yeah,
Tulpiki.
He's nice as well, so you can't go wrong. Yeah, Tulpiki, footwork, and he's pretty safe as well back there. So obviously he's not like prime RTS, but it's good that they're keeping RTS out there because you bring in RTS to fullback for 3-4 games, and then you kick him back out. May as well just keep him there, keep him working over there, and then you got Tulpiki just showing his talents out there as a fullback. So I think it's a good idea, honestly.
And you've got that big body in defence, and you can have some like 3-on-2s, and he uses his footwork. Like
scary if RTS is roaming though, like how Joey Manu does as well.
Oh,
if RTS is roaming, man. Oh, dangerous.
I think he was roaming in the game against the Tigers, but obviously they were playing man down for like most of the game. And it was kind of like you'd sort of, because if you watch that, I think there was a try, either the first or second trial that Pappy scored, and he was sort of that roaming thing. It sort of reminded me a little bit of a couple of years ago, Tommy Turbo in Origin, when he played a centre or a wing, and he was just roaming all over the field.
I remember that, and he just blitzed Queensland. I remember. It's too good.
I think that's a sort of, maybe it's a new thing to sort of like keep an eye on, and sort of like the way the game's evolving and the different rules that the centre position might become a bit more important, and they're going to start sort of using them to roam, because your winger's already doing the first sort of run back, and then by the time you've got these massive fit forwards that can just run all day, like Payne Haas 80-minute forward, like half the front rowers can do 80 minutes if they're really called on. So now you've got different sort of set of plays and stuff that you can use attacking, and it's a little bit out of the box sort of play that I think maybe the coach is going to lean on sort of going forward.
Roosters have been doing it with Joey Manu a bit, like how he shuffles around and that, so that's pretty nice. I do like how they do though, like with centres roaming. I like it. I think it's pretty cool, and it helps out, say, fullbacks that aren't really like even Latrell, like sometimes he's not always through there, so you got like, say, a centre that comes in and gives a hand, so it's massive. I feel like it's massive, and like you said, game could be evolving, so we'll find out.
Well, giving the players a chance to roam is, seeing what they can actually do with the footy, seeing how they read the game, seeing what their IQ is. It becomes so important. If the players like that, they take full advantage, and they'll kill it every single time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it sort of takes a little bit of sort of pressure off the fullbacks as well, because a lot of the good fullbacks, like I was just watching a podcast, the new Matty Johns and Cooper Johns one, interviewing Luke Brooks. And they were talking about sort of what Tommy Turbo does, and obviously he's highly skilled and can beat a man like most of the time, but he's also out the back and he's directing, and like a lot of the most good fullbacks, I think Billy Slater was like one of the first ones, even Minicello back in the day would be directing the team from the back, and it takes sort of pressure off the halves. I think Latrell does it now as well, sort of directs the team around, sort of lets them know what's happening, where players are, who's missing in a line, because you can see it from back
Especially
there.
from the back,
Great last year, yeah.
So if you're not a fullback that's just having to run all the time, and you've got these roaming centres now, then you've got time to sort of direct the team.
Talk, man. That's especially as a fullback. You're big. You've got to be talking to you're the one that has that line. You know where all the holes are. If your fullback's sitting there going, that's when you can tell. Even in lower grades, like you see a lot of time, like fullbacks, the ones that really shine are the ones that are talking. Like, and I'm talking like, say, like under 10s or under 11s. Got fullbacks who are yelling out and that, and you can just see it just changes the whole dynamic of the game. So, yeah, I feel like, fullbacks, they're coming in as massive. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm just so happy about, like, this is my favourite sort of, I love talking tactics. Like, I think especially over the last few years with the ARL, the commission coming in with all these rule changes, it's really sort of changed the definition of positions. I really think the way hookers have changed position, how important the lock is. Like, they talk about your lock is basically your middle now, but then, you have so many ball playing locks. Like, there's just different sort of nuances. There's obviously there's a lot of rule changes coming in this year, and I think, like, I haven't even given my head around it. There was a Manly try in the trials where it was a great try, but where Nathan Brown stood, he stood next to the ruck, and you can't stand there. If you're kicking downfield, no one can be involved in the play, even if they're back 10 metres. If they're in front of the kicker, they can't even get involved in the play now. Like, there's all these little nuances of speeding up the game and just changing it. And so it's starting to bring different positions into the forefront, and just like, I think generally you just have your halfbacks, your general, and they're doing, but it's just making people sort of having to be more skillful in positions, and it's just really changing the game, and it's exciting. Like, this is going to be a great season.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely agree.
Anyway, let's crack on with some of the sort of little things that I want to talk about. Let's go into the World Club Challenge. So obviously that was just this past weekend. Panthers still can't get it done. Obviously the last try, a lot of controversy around that. I mean, I like the way the refs talk about their decisions and stuff. I think it's very clear and very direct. And I just think that it obviously wasn't a try. Like, the guy was probably 30 centimetres from the line and then sort of pulled it in. But, I don't know how the video ref missed that. But obviously the way the ref said they awarded a try, and then they said there was insufficient evidence that, they couldn't see from the angle. So, I mean, if the Panthers probably should have, at full strength, maybe they could have, if Luai was there, maybe they could have won. But I mean, over in Wigan are just,
they're a great team.
Yeah,
they're a brutal team.
They've always been, like, ever since I've been alive, like, Wigan has been the OG powerhouses in England. But it's just so weird that, like, I think it's three attempts now, the Panthers over history have not been able to win a World Cup challenge and can't say that they're world champs.
Makes me happy. It generally makes me happy.
Loki makes everyone happy, I'm pretty sure, right? Every team but the Panthers, every fan but the Panthers, love it.
I think when a team is that successful, everyone's got to hate it. I remember everyone hating on Melbourne for years. Same with the Roosters.
Yeah.
No one likes the Roosters.
Everyone loves the Roosters.
With their big fan base.
Yeah.
Everyone hates it.
Massive fan base. But I think like a big talking point is obviously we're going to Vegas and like, they want to market to America and, everyone's been getting around it. I actually saw Brian Fletcher talking about it, that he's not really sure that the Americans are taking the market, but the thing is like all these young players at the moment, they're into the NFL, they're into into the NBA and the way that it all works around franchises. Like I think, and something that I really want to just deep dive into this year is sort of, I would love to model, like I think we should model the game off the English Premier League with all the divisions and stuff. Like we talk about tribalism and stuff like that. Imagine like a fourth division team making it all the way up to the NRL. It was like, somewhere out in like Western New South Wales, or the Mudgee Dragons, like making their way up, and you'd have that tribalism. You'd have this little 10,000 person town, and they'd have like a team in the top of of the league, and you could also sell TV rights. So you'd have like, you might not be showing, like you'd have like sort of FA Cup sort of style competitions where like they do it in the A League with FFA and stuff, and like you could sort of have these small little teams sort of qualify up and sort of you'd be playing a reserve grade team against a fourth division team. Like I think that's the way forward for the game in Australia, and it's sort of it'll grow the game across the country, because then you can have teams in Perth and Adelaide and second and third team, and you could easily slide in all these extra teams. You could get the old North Sydney back in, even though it looks like North Sydney might be the next team back in.
Sick.
Like,
no, I completely agree. I've been talking to my brother about this for years, because the FA Cup and the way they do it is it's so good. You get teams like Wrexham a couple of years ago that come through and were beating Premier League teams. Like, if you have that for the NRL and they come through and can put some miles on these big teams, that'd be unreal.
Yeah, obviously, if your team is coming down the bottom and you're getting relegated, then you do what they do in the Premier League and other divisions. You give parachute payments, so your club doesn't fall in a complete financial hole, and you can hold on to some players and try and get back. But like you could think about, like obviously, like so Fox Sports has a stranglehold on the top league, then maybe someone else would come in and be like they're showing all the second division games, and between the QRL and the New South Wales Rugby League, there's so much talent there that you could have as a second division.
True.
You could have players on loan down there, like young players that you want to get a bit of first team experience.
True. Yeah.
It would benefit everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. I can't understand. This is the only thing.
The game, the players, like especially in those lower division teams, knowing how to play and getting a chance to play against those bigger teams would be unreal.
Imagine playing second, third division, and you're getting paid to play footy.
Yeah.
You might be getting like 1.2 million a season, like Jerome Luai, but imagine getting 80 grand a season to play footy. Like you could live on that. Like
exactly. Yeah. True.
Yeah, my plan is to write a whole big thing and like a whole chart, and I have this thing in my head that I honestly think that it would be the absolute best thing for this game. And I don't think the way of the franchises and I think the way that the club owners and stuff want it now is that benefits them, because their clubs are never getting put down. So, but I think the commission and the NRL just need to be like, hang on a minute, let's try and go a little bit this way. I think maybe the clubs have a little bit too much power.
Yeah, they need some new politics now, I think, because at the minute it's very me, more than what can we do outside of our space.
The NRL is actually making money now instead of being broke, which was like pre-COVID. I think it was the NRL was broke.
Yep.
And, I think they generated like $720 million in revenue last season alone. Like,
one of the main reasons why we're trying to breach out to America right now.
For money.
We have that money.
Yeah,
we have that
yeah.
money. We have the resources now. We want to show off. We
show
want
it off a bit. Yeah. Now that we actually got the money.
but I think the clubs had to pay for a lot of like finding their own training staff and like getting them over. Like that was the thing with like a lot of clubs put their hand up for it, but it's like, hey, you're footing the bill to get your whole team over there and stuff like that. And they're like, whoa.
That's why every team
obviously
there,
there's
I guess.
yeah. There's a 5-year plan, so everyone's going to get rolled through. So I think obviously. Maybe one of your teams won't go next year. Maybe they'll be at the World Club Challenge.
Oh.
Maybe the Tigers will.
Nah.
All right, let's move on, because I could talk about this all day. The All-Stars game, let's roll it back. It feels like ages ago, and I think it was like 3 weeks ago now. The Indigenous All-Stars versus Maori All-Stars. Oh, I think it's a great game. I like the fact that like there's a lot of players that if you just had they're probably not going to play State of Origin, but there's a lot of players that you get through there. Like maybe in the Maoris, they won't all get into the New Zealand team. Like it was just a good spectacle. Standouts for me, Trindle was. If he plays like that for the Sharks this year, the Sharks are going to do well. Like I think he's finally getting confidence that he's sort of got his spot down, and it just really showed that like everyone was sort of looking, pressuring Nico, and he sort of stepped up and took the reins. And then on the other side, Joe Tarpany was just a beast.
Yeah, it was nice. Joey Tarpino was nice. He was just getting through work. That's all he was doing, just working hard. Offloads, running hard, tackle breaks.
Scored a try.
Yeah, I know. He was on. It was good to see because, like, obviously he's amazing, Joey Tarpino, but, like, it was good to see him work well for the Maldives as well. Like, him and Xavier Willison, he was nice as well. Like, I like that. I know. He was, like, especially now that he's got that spot off the bench for the Broncos, which is massive as well, which is good to see. But I thought he was pretty good as well. Like, scored a try as well right at the end. So, yeah, it was nice to watch.
Yeah, 100%. He had a big game. Yeah. Like I really like Xavier Wilson. I think there's obviously a lot of young forwards coming through, like May and stuff. I think Wilson's going to be. Yeah. I think he's going to be his biggest horse. I know that's a huge call, but that's. Just watching what he played last year.
They got some good forwards. Even Big Ben Takura. He is massive. He's like 6'9". Oh my God, that's massive. So even he's going to be scary in that Broncos team, and he's 19 and he's 6'9". That's crazy.
Yeah, so, losing a big boy like Flegler, and then just having these big boys, where did the Broncos have always had that sort of nursery, and they're so worried when the Titans and the Cowboys and then now the Dolphins come in that they're losing all of this, but they're still pumping them out like. Yeah. We could have another 3 teams in Queensland. Like, how many teams are in Sydney?
So much talent, though, exactly. Yeah. There's just talent like Marsden, Wavell, Keebra, Ipswich. There's just talent everywhere. Mabel, so...
out in Toowoomba. Like, the Darling Downs is a huge catchment.
Like, these teams, like, there's so much talent here. And like I say, a lot of those boys go straight to the Broncos or straight to the Titans. But now that you've got the Dolphins and that, you can spread it out a bit more, give these young kids more of an opportunity, which it's fun to watch. It's good to watch.
I'm glad you brought up the Dolphins because I sort of want to talk about the trials, and I think that's what we saw with the Dolphins. There's so much young, raw talent in that, and this is year 2 of Wayne Bennett. They had not much depth last year, and they had a lot of injuries and a lot of outs. Like they lost Sean O'Sullivan for most of the year. Like their number one halfback, like.
Kafusi started well last year, and he was out with red cards, and
he was that guy
all over the shop. Yeah,
Finn Diesel. Look at him go.
But there wasn't a lot spoken about Katoa, an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
They pinched from the Penrith and just got in and did his work. And for an 18-year-old kid, like Sam Walker got dropped. Like Katoa never got dropped. Like he was there consistently for the whole year.
Yeah.
He had a myriad of different halves partners, and he was just solid.
He was.
Who was at the back? I don't know why. Just Tavio Fido.
I know the
hammer. I don't know why I just forgot him for just a second there.
So electrifying.
Huge.
You just see him. It's just so nice to see him moving like that, especially like now that their forward pack is getting obviously. Pretty heartbreaking what happened to Tom Gilbert. Like, that was rough. But, like, they still got such a strong forward pack. And Hammer swooping through there, man. Jeremy Marshall-King back and healthy. Like, it's going to be dangerous. And they got such a good draw to start. Like, such a nice draw. It's like something like they're not leaving Queensland until, like, round 11 or something.
I don't think their first buys until round 11 or 12.
Yeah.
They play Cowboys first.
Yeah,
I think they play 3 Queensland teams in the first 5 rounds.
Yeah, and they'd have Para and Darwin or something like that, I think, or some random thing like that. But it's crazy. Like they've got such a good draw to start, so it's going to be fun to see Hammer running around, just doing this thing,
I wonder how the draw is going to affect this year because remember Parramatta had the hardest draw last year. Started slow, didn't have confidence, and then that really sort of took the wind out of sails. Like Parrot did nothing last year. I think it's strung like maybe 3 wins together once. So I haven't actually looked through the entire draw, but it'll be interesting to see who's sort of got a bit of a hard draw.
Melbourne Storm's got a rough draw. I've seen like they've got Panthers at the start. They got Broncos pretty close to the start. Sharks close to the start. Knights as well. They got a bye early, so I reckon we'll still be all right. But it's gonna be tough draw for us. I reckon. Yeah.
I mean, big team, big draw.
Exactly.
Melbourne's one of those teams that can come back from that, but they'll stick together, very tight knit.
Yeah. Especially and some of those players are made for big games, which is like Munster, your Grant, they're made for big games, what they say. So it's going to be good.
Patient players.
Yeah, exactly. And one good thing is, say Paps and Hughes are off. Grant and Munster are going to step up. You got Grant and Munster off. Hughesy and Paps are going to step up. So it's going to be nice. I reckon we'll still be all right this year, but we got a pretty tough draw.
I worry about your depth in the backs.
Yeah, I hope Pap stays relatively injury free.
Well,
so far along.
No. I think the fullback's covered, but I think the big problem that you had last year was your centres. Like if Remus Smith is injured, then
Seve came in and but now we lost Olam, but now we got Meany. He's slotted in there. Could have Jack Hayworth out there, which he's got a bit of leg. Like he's worked a bit at the moment in the Multi All-Stars and, done some trials, which was good for him. But I know what you're saying. Like there's not immense amount of depth there.
If you lose a half, you got Jonah Pezzett. I think he's fantastic.
Jonah.
But I just worry that there's just if you lose a winger or a centre, there's not a lot of this is why the trials are great.
Yeah.
And, because you see a lot of like young players come through with experience and stuff like that. So I feel like rugby league guru right now because he just could be anything. I love watching the trials. I love seeing these young players come through, and you're like, I'm going to see that kid in he's going to be first grader. There was obviously you spoke about Jack Howard. He's a first grader through and through. He will be, but I'm just I do worry about your outside back depths.
It is pretty tough, like you said, losing Olam, yes, bit thin there, but I think we'll be all right. I'm pretty confident in the school, and even there's Kane Bradley, he played in the centres as well. He played second row as well, but he played centre as well. So we'll see. Hopefully everyone stays nice and healthy. That'd be the dream.
I think you got a great deal with the Olam Bloor swap. Sean Bloor was our best forward for the Tigers last year.
Can't wait to see Bloor off Munster or off
First
Munster.
year injured, second year ACL, third year absolutely bossed it, and now he's gone to the Storm.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think,
He played great.
yeah. Oh, he carried our team. Every time he come off the bench, him and Big Red, Alex Seyfarth just lifted the team. Every time they came on for the Tigers, that they're back in the season last year. Who else looked good in the trials?
I like Thomas Makaile. He was nice for the Cowboys. Big prop. He came on. He offloads. He had some silky passes, which I was like, whoa, and he came from the Tigers, didn't he?
He came from the Tigers,
exactly.
And then he went overseas to England, and then came back. So I only just realised when I saw the post a day or two ago, he wasn't even in the top 30 for Cowboys. They promoted him to top 30.
Yeah, maybe a day or two ago, he just got top 30.
In that second trial, he came on and changed the game. The Cowboys were being dominated. He made a big run, had an offload. Made another run, made a break, had another offload, and then scored a try or two tries.
He got a double.
Oh, because
double.
they took him off after his stint, and then someone got a head injury, had to go back on, and then come back on and score the second one.
Beautiful. It's just good to see, and obviously Coleman Hess, getting hurt, that's hard, but that could bring him up. Slot him in somewhere. He is hoping.
Cowboys forwards, obviously they offloaded Leilua as well. The back row, the starting back row is Nanai and
Lukey, oh my gosh, I'm excited for him.
Oh, there's so many forwards in Cowboys. They just keep growing them up there.
I know.
Coming through the cane fields,
Yeah, definitely.
Cowboys missed the 8 last year. Do we think they can get there?
There's so many good teams this year,
Yeah,
but I feel like the Cowboys are on. Scotty Drinkwater, the ball playing skills on him. Didn't he nearly felt 4 tries just about, or 3? He just looks so good. He's just so smooth with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, 4th was just allowed, but Drinky had his fingers all over. Also, Dearden's
Dearden,
Dearden's running that team, not Townsend anymore.
Yeah. That's crazy to think. Like Townsend, now it's dead, and that's crazy.
That's awesome though.
I know it is.
Well, remember he got offloaded from the Wooden Spoon Broncos 3 years ago,
Yep.
and then he just created something amazing. Like
His
just
comeback was Origin.
Yeah, it was. I remember
Origin
that.
game,
Yeah,
he slipped
you're
in.
right.
It was game 3.
yeah. Who got injured? Was it Money?
I think it was Money.
I think it was too.
Yeah, Money was out. That and everyone's like, we're done.
Because
Like,
DCE played.
Yeah, no, it was
Munster-
Money. No, you're right. Everyone was just like, oh no, Munster done. And he just came in and just blitzed it, and everyone's like, oh yes, like savior.
The kid had so much pressure on him.
Yeah, I know. It was massive.
Wasn't he 18th man? And someone got injured like in the first 5 minutes. I'm
Really?
trying to think of that game because I remember someone was it like maybe it was Cobbo or something got knocked out and like Luo was standing over him. Or I think of a different game.
I know the game that you're talking about. I'm not sure if that was the same game. Though.
remember
I'm
that
not
game.
sure. Pardon?
I remember that game.
Yeah, and I remember getting up off the couch. What the hell? Yelling at the TV and that.
Also, other teams in the trial, like obviously the trials, the preseason comp trials, and they win like the team won $100,000 and it go like the Broncos won, but it was like the winner Manly, Seagulls, and the South Logan team played against the Rezzies of Manly, and then Broncos come on top and win the whole thing. Like, I think if there's a preseason competition, it's got to be separate from the trials. Maybe like a little knockout competition. And if you really want to test it and pump it, because if you just play two teams and it was like, oh, the Broncos and Manly are going over there, so they're going to play the weak teams. Like, Broncos have more depth. It's like. It's kind of weird. Like, do you really try for this $100,000 for the players? I love the trials because you see all these good young players coming through, and sort of see where the players that come across. Like obviously Crichton got a run for the Bulldogs. Luke Brooks had a huge hit out for the Manly. But should we have back in my day when I was a young fella, we used to have this thing called the Challenge Cup, and so you'd have a knockout competition. And they'd take I lived in a country town in New South Wales, and they brought a St George and Bulldogs game and I think the year after I saw Sharks versus someone else, and I'm like a 10-year-old kid meeting the great Andrew Eddinghausen, and Mal Meninga was there, and I must have been Raiders the second year. I don't know, but it's they just take all I love that they take it all out to the bush, and that's also going to grow the game.
Yeah, that will. Yeah,
And you get to see all these young, awesome players on show.
Dude, why have they get rid of that?
Yeah, or the Nines. Love the Nines.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's bringing casual viewers. The Nines bring casual viewers because it's like cricket. I can't sit through a test match, but I'll watch a T20, the Big Bash, because there's some stadiums have a pool and they give out I don't know, KFC hats, and there's just a bit of action. People are just swinging for the fences. I think the Nines is a great way to sort of bring the casual fan. So maybe I reckon they should do every second year do a Nines tournament and then do a knockout tournament. They don't even have to do 80-minute games. They could just do full teams, do a 60-minute game, 2.5 an hour things. Just bring a little bit more excitement. Just change the game. Episode 1, 2024. We're changing the game. On fire today. All right. Well, let's talk about Vegas. So Vegas doubleheader this weekend. First game. Have you guys seen the team lists? The first game, Seagulls and the Rabbits. Both looking full strength.
Tip bunnies.
Bunnies. Straight off.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Manly.
Turbo.
Just Turbo. Turbo
Turbo, yeah.
is apparently absolutely flying. Do you remember when he came back last year and he was sort of he made a break and then just sort of sat in second gear and he just sort of got chased down and was like, what's going on there? Apparently he's absolutely flying.
Exciting. Love
You've
to see
got
Turbo
the speed machine. Remember when you got Jason Saab, fastest man in rugby league?
Yeah, but he didn't live up to it last year. He cost me so many fantasy points last year. It was ridiculous. And I kept him in my team. Just
That's rough.
praying on a wheel, and it just never happened.
Please.
Yeah, legit. Not to the back end of the season.
You should have
But
traded.
He is very quick.
Could have traded him out for Alex Johnson on the other wing.
Or not Johnston.
AJ, chasing down Ken Ovine's all-time record. Will he get it this year? I think he's still about 40 or 38 or something behind. I think he's on 182, 184. I don't know. It's 212 is Ken Irvine's record, which is a record to last that long is insane. I don't even know when Ken Irvine played, like the 40s or the 50s. Like, how many games did they play? And like, tries were worth like 3 points as well.
No way, what the heck? Yeah.
So obviously Tommy was injured last season, and Cooler stepped in at fullback.
Cooler's
And
nice.
other absolute, there's so much speed in the back line for
Cooler is
Manly.
nice.
If they ever get sick of Turbo, I think he's just a absolute start and fullback. Like he's safe as houses. Hang on a minute. I'm just sort of looking across to the bunnies. We got
Ruben Garrick, Richard Kenner.
I'm excited for
but
Burbo.
where's Jackie Whiten?
Oh, no, he's out. He's not playing. He's
Jackie
suspended.
Whiten is suspended
Yeah,
or
he's
is injured?
Oh, he's
One of those. Suspended or injured, one of those. Someone check that.
Oh man.
Fact check me.
fact checking.
So the referee of the grand final last year, Adam G.
Yep.
So Ashley Klein is a ref for the first game.
Yep.
So surely Adam G gets the call up for refereeing the second game. Surely. He absolutely killed it in the grand final. Like, probably one of the best referee. Like, you didn't know the ref was there. Like, made good
G.
calls. There's no controversy over the result. Adam G, yeah, referee for the second game. Absolutely. If the NRL didn't put him as ref, mate, absolutely.
100%. The second game's looking stacked.
Oh, I just want to quickly. Sorry, I got a little carried away on the refs. Just mate, put some respect on the refs' names. DCE Lockie Elias up against Luke Brooks. I mean Luke Brooks, DCE, Cody Walker, Lockie Elias. Two, just that Manly halves pairing. Just like that I'm not a Manly fan, but Jesus, that excites me. That's great. This is the season that Lockie Elias needs to stand up, and if he doesn't prove himself to be an absolute winner for the Rabbitohs, I reckon they've got a good young kid coming through that's nipping at his heels. Lockie Elias needs to perform this season.
Yeah. Nah, I figured out. Yeah, Jack Whiten's out till round 3, suspended.
Yeah.
Don't know what for, but yeah.
Yeah, did he do something in the finals? I can't even remember.
I was having a look. Nah, I couldn't find exactly what he did, but I just checked Supercoach, clicked on it, and said out till round 3. So I was like,
What did he did?
yeah, forwards Paseka against Tola.
Burbo. I'm excited for Burbo.
Oh,
Ben Travojevic. Oh,
love Benny
when you got a
Travojevic.
Travojevic last name. Oh,
And
happy.
obviously Jakey up against Cam Murray, three Travojevic. You got Olakawatu
Kawatu,
up against Kolamatangi. Oh, what a matchup.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
huge.
that is going to be a massive
That is
matchup.
huge.
Are they same side?
Oh, I reckon Olakawatu's taller.
Yeah, no, like, are they same side?
Oh,
Like,
well, they're both playing 11, so probably not. Like, surely they're going to
would've
clash.
been
You
nice.
You find them on.
yeah, that'd be nice. I
Sean
can't
Kepi
wait.
straight into the starting side.
Kepi, nice.
And then, Tommy Burgess on the bench. Nathan Brown has gone from a train and trial to straight into the bench.
Nathan Brown. Well, he's the one that played for Para. He was the lock for Para.
Yeah.
Is that one?
Yeah.
He was good. I remember him. And he used to run hard and he used to give it to the Storm when we used to play him. So I remember him. He was good.
Obviously, Aaron Woods, Tommy Talau, Brad Parker. Brad Parker played in a second row position in the trials.
I saw
So
that. They've been trialing him at second row.
when you got that much speed in your back line, and then you got some bloke that just takes like heavy hit ups, and why not?
Schuster, Olakau'atu, you got Parker there, you got Burbo there.
Well, there's no Schuster in the Vegas game.
Ooh.
I think he's got injured again.
Yeah, he's hurt again. So tough. He's such a good player, man. I think he's such a good player. It's just
Alrighty, let's go on to the second game.
tough. Oh,
Brendo,
Roosters.
give us a rundown on this Roosters team.
Roosters.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked.
Alright.
He needs one word. Stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked. It's ridiculous.
Even like they just in the off season they re-signed Billy Smith to 2027 after like 3 years of he come back at the end of last season and just absolutely brained it, and they've stuck with him through so many injuries, and I think he's definitely gonna prove that. Well, they've obviously,
Yeah, exactly.
Was it 2027? So another 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Seo Wong against Brennan Piakura will be interesting.
Yeah, Piakura is nice and Wong is nice. So
Two just insane young players that are gonna do really well.
Exciting.
I mean, some of the matchups, you got Tedesco Walsh already.
Nice.
That's going to be huge.
And like two absolute excitement machines, but played very different games. Like Teddy will take 1,000 hit ups. Reece Walsh will throw 1,000 different passes, and sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. It's just it's mouthwatering.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Brendan. What do you think the minutes are going to be for the forwards? I've been so I've been so unsure about what minutes will be like because there's so many good forwards in that bench. What do you reckon?
Personally, if Lindsay Collins and Victor Radley aren't playing full minutes, I'll be disappointed.
True.
Both just machines, absolute machines.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a couple of times that Tupouniua is probably going to go from second row to middle. They're going to, I know. Well, they did that in the trials, apparently. They forgot who they took off, but they moved him from second row to the middle, and then they brought on, I think, Wong or something like that. But that's what I mean. I'm so unsure about it. Got so many good, say, second rowers, and you got May as well. I don't know what the plan of attack would be. I don't know what they're going to do.
That's tough. We got Eden coming into the side as well.
It's a great problem to have.
It is a great problem to have.
Oh, look, your extended reserves bench, Angus Crichton, Egan Butcher.
I know.
Probably, and even Connor Watson, probably three walk-up at least bench players.
Could go anywhere and start probably as well.
I mean, talking to embarrassing riches, look on the Broncos side, Corey Oates, first grader.
I can't believe
Tristan Saylor, Marty Tapau, even Jock Madden. Jock Madden was the first grader for Tigers. Every time Jock Madden stepped in for the Broncos, he's done really well.
True.
And was also re-signed. But yeah, on the interchange on the Broncos side, there's your man, Xavier Willison. Big things for this kid this year. He's just...
Yeah. Apparently, Marty Tapau was going to beat him out, apparently. But then, the team list came out and he was in. I was like, yes. Super coach, yes. Beautiful.
Tapau's getting old now, surely.
Yeah. But he's still a good player, but
He's a weapon.
So,
he's
just a monster.
Tapau started at the Bulldogs, went to the Tigers, went to Manly, and then went to... Did he go Broncos via Warriors, or did he go straight to Broncos?
Straight to Broncos.
I remember him in Tigers. No, Manly. He was nice. I remember him at Manly. He was nice.
I think that was his biggest stint.
That was when he was just a fending machine.
Yeah, he was nice at Manly.
He's still got good hands for a front rower. I think he can play anywhere in the pack as well. But I mean, Corey Jensen is done. Just he's that kind of guy who's he's a good forward, he's a grinder, and he's taken that place with Flagler, and obviously Haas, and then obviously in the middle there, Paddy Carrigan, back row, Jordan Rickey, Billy Walters. I love the Billy Walters story. Obviously he made his debut in first grade at 26. Now he's probably about 29 now at the Broncos, and obviously his dad's a coach. But I think he deserves his spot. He's just to go from I want to be a 6 and then end up being a 9, and sort of Billy Walters was huge for them last year.
Was he at the Storm? He was at the Storm, wasn't he?
Was it a Storm before the Tigers?
I think was he? No, I think was he.
Are you just confusing when Harry Grant went to the Tigers?
I'm confusing myself, Yeah. I'm definitely confusing myself. I'm thinking.
It wouldn't surprise me because it makes sense.
You've been saying Tigers is a filter team for years.
A filter team, a feeder team.
Feeder teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the days of the big four: Moses, Woods, Tedesco.
Oh my God!
You can make up a
Heartbreaking.
massive representative team out of top teams that the Cronulla Sharks used to be called the Tiger Sharks. They're just full of ex-Tiger players. Fafita, Johnny Morris, there's so many great players. It's an absolute what's the word? Just a nursery for talent.
Brian Pappenhausen as well. I just thought about that. Papsy at the
Josh
top.
Adokar as well.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. I remember he debuted against.
How about the Wallaby, Marika Korobiti? Come through the Tigers, went to Storm,
and just carved up. He was my favourite player for ages.
Tigers feeder team. I think that's what you have in the teams where it's like North Sydney. I think North Sydney's reduced a lot of like first graders that come through North Sydney as well. Obviously, are they? I don't know if they're still the second grade team for the Roosters, or did that finish at the end of last season? 'Cause I remember Sam Walker played a lot for the Bears last year.
Yeah, played a little bit.
Played a fair bit.
Yeah.
Chopped,
Oh,
injured,
that's right. I get chopped.
Yeah.
Chopped hard.
and now he's running the team. So
What a guy.
any pressure on Robbo this year? I reckon if you have a stinker this year, I reckon the old Bunsen burners are going to come up on Robbo.
I reckon it's definitely a bit of pressure.
Bit of sizzle, sizzle.
But he's very good at handling the pressure. That's who he is. Especially with the team he has on paper as well. Like,
Oh yeah,
if that team's outperforming, it's definitely him.
any coach with that team on paper, holy dooly.
Yeah.
Before we just move on, I just want to wrap up Vegas a little bit. Obviously, it's round 0, round 1. Are we thinking like? Obviously, it's a spectacle to showcase a game in another country. It's 2 points for the competition. They're going to be playing. The field's a bit.
Small.
It's not as wide, and I think the in goals are a bit shorter. But the ref's going to put away the whistle, kind of a little bit Origin-esque. Is that sort of going to happen? Is it going to be different from like the first game, like Ashley Klein, the way he refs to Adam G? I
think it's a spectacle. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
As a round 0, round 1 game, I think it's going to be 2 very sloppy games.
True.
And I think they're playing on turf. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like
Astro.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
The worst to play on.
So obviously you guys said that first game you tipped South. I'm tipping Manly. What about second game? Oh. Roosters for you?
Bronx. No, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be hard. Like I'm probably going Bronx. Like. Sorry.
Bro, if I had a second team, if I had to pick a second team, it'd be the Broncos.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice, man.
It's such a
It's gonna.
good team.
But I reckon it's gonna be a close game. Like it's gonna be a very close game if Teddy's moving and if Teddy's not just tucking that ball underneath his arm like he was last year and he's moving that ball around like he usually does.
For me, it's
gonna
all
be-
about that man right there.
Yeah, Reno, eh? Or,
Adam Reynolds.
Oh.
He's not on
Brennan.
fire. Like,
Yeah, but Ezra Mam could probably step up. Like he doesn't have the kicking game of Reynolds. Reynolds can put it on a dime.
well, that's what they started doing last year. They were playing very much like Penrith 2 years ago, where they were making those big kicks out to the wing. And
Ezra was playing like a great 6 player, running
Yeah,
6.
completely
All the
agree.
greats.
Yeah, man.
Mam's a wall. He's in my fantasy.
You know what? I'm going to take the Roosters. I think this is a big season for the Roosters.
Yeah,
I think it means more to the Roosters to win this game than it does to the Broncos, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I think the-
debatable, but yeah, 100%.
Do you don't think Bruce Walsh is going to get some sort of like contract thrown at him, and they'll
That
see him
guy.
over in Vegas or the
Oh,
Americans? Be like, oh, it's like
What
the
a guy.
NRL's Justin Bieber,
Reese Walsh.
Reece Walsh.
What a guy.
Anyway, so yeah, it is going to be a big year.
Sure.
So, speaking of big year, I need some tips for the year for you boys. So basically, what team's going to have a big year? Who's going to be who? It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I know.
No. It doesn't have to be like who's going to win the competition. Like it just who's going to have like a big year. Like obviously we know like your Penrith and your
Norms.
Broncos
Yeah,
are going to be
of
up there.
course.
But like what team's going to be? You reckon's going to have a big year, Brendo?
2 teams I'm looking at would be the Tigers and Newcastle Knights.
Newcastle,
Obviously,
true.
yeah, Newcastle, a lot's happening. Ponga's finally in his favourite position. There's a lot going for Newcastle's backline at the minute. But Tigers, obviously, with the whole reform, I think they're going to have a good season. I don't think either of those two are going to be in the bottom 3 of the table.
Thought you were going to say the bottom 8. I was like, are we making the 8?
I'll be
That's
happy.
got bad.
I'm very happy for you, but I don't think you're going to hit the spoon again this year, mate.
I'm not really sure, eh? Like, I'm not saying this team's gonna like shoot up far, but I reckon I'm excited to see Titans for some reason.
Desi?
Like, yeah, and Jaden Campbell getting that back spot. He's like, I remember watching him, and he's just like every time he got that ball, it was like scary. Just that footwork, so relaxed with it. It's not like he was pressuring too much. Fafita, obviously. Luffy Khan Pereira, the speed from him. And even I saw AJ, like Brimson, the way he was running, just tucked that ball underneath his arm, just went hard for the hole. It was so good to see. Like, it's good to see. Like, I can't wait for that Titans and both Fermor.
Both Fermor.
Yeah, he's back. That's gonna be nice. So,
Last year was ACL whole season. The year before, absolutely tore the house down.
yeah, Verrills as well. I'm excited to see him as well. So there's a lot of good pieces in that Titans team. Obviously, I'm not saying they're gonna blitz it and go top 4, but I'm excited to watch them.
Every time Desi coaches Boren does good things.
Foreign, and especially with Fafita outside him and Luffy Campero outside him.
And Fermor.
Exactly. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Who do you think?
I like the Titans. Like, there's so many players, you're talking about. And I was also like the way that AJ was moving. Obviously, he went off a little bit injured it was probably precautionary at the end of the last trial game, but him moving back to what we was talking about at the very beginning about that roaming centre role, like the RTS, the Joey Manu, like AJ they're like, yeah, you're playing centre, but you're going to be like injecting yourself into it.
Like we were saying, that floating centre.
And he doesn't have to be bringing back all the carries every single time. Like I think he's going to be just absolutely just he's going to have more. He's so explosive. Like
exactly.
So. Yeah, Bo Fermor is like one of the like standouts that I'm excited to see.
Good to see back, eh?
Yeah,
for sure.
Like I think the Knights are the ones. Like, I think that they can kick on because they besides when they lost, they were on like 10, 11 in a row last year.
But when Ponga's out, it's a different.
Yeah. Ponga
It's a
does
different
get
story.
hurt a lot, so it's scary.
But
But
and
Ponga,
there's
oh my gosh.
there's some depth there. There's some depth there.
We finally got some depth. In
There's
in the
two
half, the
young
centres.
fullbacks coming through behind Ponga. Like,
True.
this is what I mean. Like people are like, oh, we can't have more teams. There's not enough depth because the Dolphins
So
couldn't get
much
it.
talent.
But there is. Like, there's Atkinson for the Sharks. Like,
Yeah, that's the Atkinson.
if Will Kennedy doesn't get injured, how does Atkinson play? He also stepped into the halves. How does he get in behind Hines and Trindle? Like, Atkinson is a first grader. Connor Tracy moved to the Bulldogs because he couldn't get a start behind all these players.
It's
Like,
hard. You don't even know what Connor Tracy's going to do this year. Like, they've got so much talent there as well.
oh,
You know, it's so hard. There's, like, everyone's saying, like, there's not enough talent to go around, but half the time there is. Like, there's so many really good players sitting behind these key players, like Jonah Pazzett or Saw Farlong, or just sitting behind Paps and Hughes and Munster. So, it's talent everywhere.
I thought the Tigers were going to throw money at Pezzett like last
Really?
year before we picked up Bud Sullivan.
He's nice.
Well, you know what? He didn't really sell me in that Dragons game. He was an absolute turnstile. They had to move Aiden Caesar over to his side because Moses Sully was running through him. Like I've seen Sullivan play, and he's got electric footwork, and he's just he has that sort of that little spark that can, but he just needs to go back to the tackle bag. And then you've got like obviously. You know, my next thing was sort of, we would talk about players to watch, like established players and rookies to watch, and I'll go straight to my rookie is a guy called Lockie Galvin for the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
He looked good. He did look good.
He looks amazing, and he can also play second row, lock, and six.
True.
I love big body sixes, like back the old days, like your Wally Lewises, like big strong sixes, like your Jackie Whitens, like big body sixes is just also where the game is going as well. Like you have your 7 that's your pivot, your kicking, you have your 9 that can kick as well, your fullback you can kick. You've got a lot of kicking options out there. Like you're running 6, like it does, like just a running 6 in general. Like, because I even like some, you know, established players to have a big year. Luke Brooks outside DCE.
I know.
Like he's
I'm
got Tommy
hoping.
at the back. He's got Jake in the middle. He's got DCE. He's got Lockie Croker. Like Luke Brooks is going to have the season of his life.
Yep.
And I'll let you guys talk about who you think are going to have standouts as well. But this is my big call, and I made it last season. I'm going to stick to it. DCE wins the Dally M.
Oh,
This could be his last year. You got Luke Brooks outside him.
Massive.
DCE.
Massive.
He was so good, but he had no help last year. Like you take a little bit of pressure off, catch your breath a little bit. Like, oh, Brooksy, take a run. Tommy out the back. Tommy stays fit. DC just like putting it on a dime, 40-20, 40-20, we're moving the team. Like Manly don't even have to win the comp. I think Manly get top 4.
Ooh,
That's
massive.
that's my big year team,
massive.
big year player.
Manly in the top 4.
Manly in the
And
top
then
4.
Where does everyone else go? Where does everyone else go? What do you reckon? What's your top 4 then? If Manly's in the top 4, what's your top 4?
Broncos,
Yep.
Roosters, Manly, Cowboys.
Oofed.
I left the Panthers out of my top 4.
No way.
Mate, we're here to make big calls. Like
Panthers out of
Stir
the
the
top
pot.
4 is scary.
you it's impossible to have that sustain. They've done it for 3 years. Like you're losing Stephen Crichton's. Like
Losing players.
you're losing players. Like you've got like a big plastic pot of water. You can only put so many holes in it before it drains out.
Yeah.
Like
But they've been patching it pretty well with all the players they keep bringing through. Like, I don't know. I just.
100% reckon it stops this year.
You reckon?
Yeah,
I just.
oh,
Everyone's
top
hungry.
4 boys.
Everyone's hungry.
Who's going
Yeah,
top 4?
you're right. Everyone is hungry. Oh, I haven't really thought about it, honestly. Like, I still have Panthers at the top, eh?
That's
Like,
fair.
it's just. They've just done it time and time and time again. Like, I thought they would have fallen off a year ago, or maybe even 2, but they just kept doing it. And I was like, I'd probably go them first. I'd go Roosters second. I'd go Bronx third, and I have to go Storm fourth. So
Is that the top 4 for last? No, who was in?
Warriors were in
Warriors
the top
were in the top 4.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was Warriors instead of. So I went Panthers, Bronx, Warriors, Storm. Was
Yes.
it?
No, Storm was the top 4.
Were they?
Didn't you 5th?
No, I'm sure we were top 4. Am I tripping?
Nah. Am I tripping?
Am I tripping?
You're both tripping.
No, I need to find this.
Is
Hold
it
on.
me? Am
Hold
I the
on,
problem?
One of us is one of us is tripping. One of us is.
I swear you didn't
Go
make
back
top
to
4
you
last
two.
year.
I'll be back.
All right. Your top 4, Brendo.
Bronx. Chooks. Cowboys. Warriors.
Oh, no Panthers as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
I almost said Warriors instead of Manly.
Storm third.
Oh,
Storm in the top 3. Crazy. Everyone said they weren't gonna make
yeah,
top 8.
no. All right.
Oh, what the heck?
Right. I remember last year very differently.
For me,
Right.
it's either Storm or Warriors to get in top
Yeah.
4 this year.
I like.
Yeah, that's a
I
very
want the
that's
Warriors.
very-
I
yeah.
just,
Yeah,
I,
up the wires.
yeah. Just so.
Just the Warriors.
Like there's so much. There's so many good players there.
Yeah.
Like front to back. Like Wade Egan, most underrated player in the whole game.
I just hope he stays healthy.
Oh.
He just kept getting hurt. It was so unlucky. He just kept getting these really random injuries during games, and it just hurt him. But
But it was
he'd
HIAs
always-
as well.
He'd always come back just as good. So it was
He's running in there,
Yeah,
100 miles an hour,
exactly.
tackling all day.
yeah. It's gonna be.
Oh, how good! Footy is back, boys.
He is back.
Footy's back. Right, I think that's it for this week. I think excited about watching the games this week. I think we covered a lot. And yeah, we'll hit it back again next week. Yeah, can't wait, boys. Thanks for joining us for our first episode of the year. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, Instagram. Say less. Peace out.